No, it's all fun and games to me. I will never understand why anybody takes being called a ball and gun gamer so fucking serious. That's what you are, nigga. I've been playing Battlefield 6 consistently for the last 2 months. I'll be off of it when Resident Evil comes out, but it's nothing wrong with some ball and gun. Just try something else, nigga. In other news, ball and gun news, Marathon launches on March 5th and will only cost $40. That's what you are? No, that's real shit when I'm talking about ball and gun gamers. Like, why does that make you so fucking mad? Why? So anybody who's ever been called a ball and gun gamer in real life and you got upset, can you explain to me why you got mad? I'm genuinely curious. Like so my dad is a chef by trade, right? He's a cook. If I walked up to my dad and I said, "Hey dad, father, you're a fucking cook." Do you think my dad would get mad? No, he would look at me and be like, "Nigga, I know. What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, if I walked up to a soccer player and I said, "Hey, I see you clicking that little football there. You must be a soccer player." Would they get mad? No. But for some reason, when you say you're a ball and gun, oh man. I work so hard. Because here come the excuses. I work a 14-hour shift. I just want to come home and play Call of Duty and Madden. I didn't ask you why you were a ball and gun gamer, nigga. I said you're a ball and gun gamer. It's a factual statement. Get out your fucking feelings and get in your bag, pussy. Ball and gun news, nigga. One of the biggest ball and gun games coming out this year is Marathon, which launches on March 5th and will cost $40. Bungie's long in development extraction shooter. So by the way, shout out to everybody who doesn't take it personal. It's all jokes. Marathon will launch on March 5th. A new gameplay trailer has revealed ahead of pre-order openings. It will launch on the PS5, Xbox Series, and PC at $40. The trailer introduces players against Tau Ceti, a colony that who cares? Let's watch the trailer. That's what the video's for. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still on that Apex. I see it still averages 100,000. Somebody playing that shit. People are so sensitive. Yeah, you would have thought I said fuck you or something. Like, the only people, I don't hate ball and gun gamers. The only people I hate is PS4 niggas. I will hate you niggas to the day I fucking,
lock them up.
Oh man.
Lock them up.
I've been said this shit. I'm gonna start saying it every stream. If it was up to PS4 niggas, man would have never discovered fire. They would have never discovered the wheel. We would have never discovered light bulbs. We would have never discovered nothing. Look, man, a wheel? Man, what we need that for, nigga? We got 2 feet. I got 2 feet. Right? A car. I got this buggy with the horse right there, bro. I just got this horse. What you mean it got 20 horsepower on the new car on the Model T? Why do I need 20 horses for? Oh God. Let's see. What's my opinion on From Software fanboys? Depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about, because I'm not gonna lie, I like From Software. If you're just talking about people who love From Software games, I don't have nothing negative to say. If you're talking about like From Software elitists, they're annoying. I'll give you that. You know my rules. Play your From Software, play your Souls games how you like. Just you can't sit at the champions table and act like you're not allowed to say the games are easy if you play on co-op and you play with summons and shit like that. But From Software elitists, they're fucking annoying. Let's see what this is hitting for. Let me lock in.
Tau Ceti is dying.
The fuck we need airplane? Yeah. If it was up for listen, imagine, y'all know the story of the Wright brothers, right? The people who invented the airplanes. I think it was like in North Carolina, right? Imagine the Wright brothers is in a field, an open field in North Carolina. They got that big ass plane. You remember? Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen? Let me see. And in the very first planes, there were no seats. Like niggas had to lay on that shit, bro. Wright brothers test. Let's see. It was on the beach. Was it on the beach? Whatever. There we go. Oh yeah, you're right. It was on the beach. Okay, so yeah, this is them niggas testing the planes right here. If it was up to PS4 niggas, right? they would be standing on the they be standing on the sand of the beach just hating, bro. What is that? You trying to fly? You trying to be like Ezio? Ezio already did that shit in Assassin's Creed 2. Like, first of all, nigga, that didn't happen. Second, how the fuck do you know about Assassin's Creed 2, nigga? It's like 1919 or whatever the fuck this airplane was invented. Third, but what do you mean? Like, that shit don't got no seat. It don't look comfortable. Like, I don't want to fly. Like, why we need that? We could just walk. We just got the car. Like, it just seemed a little bit unsafe, bruh. You would have never been able to go to, like, think about it. I want y'all to think about this shit, real shit, before we get back to Marathon. If it was up to a PS4, nigga, we would have never got planes. Society would have never advanced. And if we would have never got planes, you would have never been able to fly out that baddie that you love so much. Because we know y'all niggas is doing it. We know you simping. We know you simping. On Twitter, you lying, talking about you this Mac Daddy. We know you paying for pussy, nigga. We know. So if you haven't today, before you go to bed, say thank you, Wright Brothers, for inventing planes. Because of you, I've been able to fly out a bad bitch on fucking Spirit Airlines. But if it was up to PS4 niggas, they would not allow airplanes to progress technology. They want to stay the same, which is ironic because PS4s always sound like they about to take off. I hate them. I fucking hate them, bro. I fucking hate them. Back to what I was talking about.
Its secrets. Buried and rotting. With the UESC holding a shovel.
Disrupt.
That's where you...
The game does look really smooth. It looks a lot smoother.
A living weapon. Reborn. Every time you breathe.
He said PS4 niggas are conservatives and don't even know it. PS4 niggas is black Republicans. You said that's funny.
The truth is in your hands. Survive or die.
Marathon, my most hyped. You're hyped for it? Interesting. Marathon's the Arc Raiders killer. I don't know about all that. Arc Raiders is tough to follow up. I don't know about all that. Until people get their hands on and the reviews come out, I don't know. What I will say is they've done a great job because Marathon had some bad press like 6 months ago. But Bungie has done a great job of doing a 180 of turning their karma around and breaking the stigma. They went from everybody was like excited about Marathon to everybody was hating it to now I think people are kind of in the middle. Like, I'm open to trying it. And I think what the game has going for it is not only are they listening to feedback from the audience, but the game is only $40 at launch, which, by the way, in the world where we talk about a lot of negative shit going on in the gaming space, can we talk about how pricing models are improving in gaming? Come on. Marathon's 40. Arc Raiders was what, 30, 40? Expedition was $50. Some of the best games to recently come out have been cheap. And Split Fiction, that should have been nominated. That was only 30, and you got 2 copies of the game. I can't stress enough. I hope that more publishers see that, let's start making more experimental, smaller games and start charging the correct price. Everything does not need to be $70. I think part of the reason why some gamers only play 2 new games a year or less is because everything is $70 to $80 in a world where, there are rumors that GTA 6 is going to be $100 and motherfuckers, I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it costs. I'm going to pay for that shit. In a world where people are saying that shit, I need more people to support. And this is why, even though I'm not a big fan of Arc Raiders, I'm still rooting for it. You know why? Because if Arc Raiders does good, that's good for everybody. That game is $30, $40. Everybody's on it. We don't want, if Rockstar charges $100 for GTA 6, nigga, we're all doomed. So even if you're not interested in Expedition 33, you should be rooting for that game because more publishers are going to see, God damn, that bitch moving hella units and it's only $50. Yeah, I'll sell my kitty for GTA 6. I don't got no gas in my car. How am I gonna get to work? I don't know, but I got shark cards. Night Rain was $40 and it was a great game. The last 2 years, and this is a great conversation. This is why I fucking hate the conversation that gaming is dead from ball and gun gamers. Gaming is in and gaming is in one of the best places it's ever been, and especially in the last 2 years. Not just because we've had amazing games come out, but now there's demos are back. They were gone for a while. Demos are coming back. The pricing structures are starting to change, and games are getting cheaper. And not only are they getting cheaper, they're successful at that cheaper rate. We're in a great place. Just start supporting more of the things that are doing good and rooting for it, and stop focusing so much on the bad shit, bruh. Nah, it's a one-off TBH. That's the only game people paying $100 for, and no matter how good it is, people are gonna feel buyers. Nah. It's not a one-off. Rising tides raise all ships. You have to keep in mind, you're thinking of it from a gamer standpoint, right? If GTA 6 comes out at $100, we all know at bare minimum, we can all agree Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna break whatever the current most selling, most generating money record is in gaming. Grand Theft Auto is gonna break it. We all can agree on that, right? When it breaks it, executives from every publisher are going to look at those numbers and say, God damn, that's the new standard. I want that. And what's the easiest way to get even close to sniff the panties of Grand Theft Auto 6? It would be to raise the price. See, the problem with making the games 30, 40, 50 bucks is you have to move more units to make X amount of dollars. That's why if you look at the analytics, at this point, I believe Arc Raiders has sold just as many copies, if not more, than Battlefield 6. But Battlefield 6 has generated exponentially amount more money because they don't have to move as many units with the game being $70. If a game is $100 and it's moving a gazillion units, they're about to be a trillionaire fucking company, bro. They're about to be on some Elon Musk shit. And every executive at EA, Activision, Bethesda, you name it, CD Projekt Red, whatever, they're going to look at those numbers and they're going to say, we want to get close to that. Not only do we want to get close to that, we want to appease our shareholders. We want to make them happy. How can we fucking do that shit, bro? Battlefield 6 sold $99 editions. It did, but there's no way for us to know how many units it sold. So like you can only go off the $70. Unless the point you're trying to make that Battlefield 6 sold a $100 edition, so why can't Grand Theft Auto do it? And that's a completely different conversation. Battlefield, I'm okay with games being $100 if you're adding value. You can charge whatever you want if you're adding value. Where I draw the line is I don't want to see Grand Theft Auto 6 charge $100 for the base game. That's what we're talking about. The base game for Battlefield 6 was $60 or $70. It wasn't $100. Ubisoft does the same thing. You get early access to the game. You get all the DLC, like the season pass and stuff like that. I'm cool with that. I'm like, okay, you're giving value to the customer. But if we're talking about charging $100 just for the game, fuck out of here, bro. But yeah, what was I about to say? Gaming's in a great place from a creative standpoint. Pricing models are changing. I just need y'all to stick this landing on this Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but if standard GTA is $100, they will charge $100 for standard. Exactly. Yeah, NBA 2K is gonna see it and they're gonna be like, damn, well maybe we need to charge $100, man. We're leaving money on the table. I unfortunately, I think because you don't have a greedy mindset, some of y'all don't understand how greedy these fucking people are. That's all they care about is them numbers, bro. Trust and believe. So yeah, that's the release date. That's the new trailer. What the fuck was this? What did I say? Oh, pre-order bonuses or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't care about this shit. 2K COD next. Niggas already buy the $150 2K just to play like 2 days early. Hold on. To be fair, I was one of those people that I didn't buy the 150. I used to buy the 100 edition. I didn't buy it this year. The reason I bought the $100 edition of NBA 2K over the last 5 years is because it came with the NBA League Pass. And that's what I mean when I say value. You got VC and you got the NBA League Pass, so you got to watch whatever NBA game you wanted besides local ones. To me, that was valuable. If you watch NBA, that was valuable to me. Now League Pass is trash now, and they also removed it, so I didn't buy the $100 version. They took the League Pass away. I stopped buying that shit. I just bought the base version this year. But I to be fair to them, as much as we hate on 2K, that League Pass was worth it because League Pass alone is like worth $100 a year, so you're getting that with the game. But it ain't there no more, so we ain't buying it. Bungie reveals Marathon voice cast, and it's full of familiar names from Baldur's Gate 3 and Claire Expedition 33. Bungie has so far confirmed 30 actors making an appearance in Marathon's English voice cast at launch, but it hasn't yet revealed the roles they'll be playing. Alongside Jennifer English, fresh off the award-winning turn as Mael in last year's Expedition 33, Marathon also features fellow Expedition 33 actors Ben Starr and Tracy Wiles. Wiles, who played the Paintress, also portrayed Jahara in Baldur's Gate 3, and is joined by fellow Baldur's Gate 3 veterans Neil Newborn, Astarion, that's the vampire dude, right? I believe. And then Samantha, who played Karlach. And here's the full list of names. I saw a lot of people hyped about this. I'm confused. I don't know if I should be hyped about this, because although there's a lot of all-star talent in terms of voice acting, do we really care? It's a first-person shooter with a very limited story. It's gonna have like lore and shit, but like outside of like, oh, they're on your 6, like, are we really looking for voice acting in an online extraction shooter? I don't know how excited we should be about this one. It's not a story-driven game. Ben Starr was Arthur in Warframe. You mean Arthur in Red Dead Redemption or Warframe? They gotta chill. I'm not paying $100 for Assassin's Creed, and luckily you don't have to. Putting the money into these aspects is a good thing. I don't find it interesting. It was going viral on Twitter, so I thought I brought it up. It didn't really do nothing for me because it's a multiplayer game, but you know, it did something for somebody. I think it'll have more lore and story than we think, and that's what I'm thinking. You're right, Vizard. You might be onto something. Maybe they're underselling the lore and the story aspect of the game, and the cast of voice actors is proving it. We're gonna have to see when the game comes out in March. I hope that's the case. I would love to see more, because I think the world they crafted is interesting. I think the next Assassin's Creed game will be free to play. I don't think so. There is a free-to-play mobile game in development called Assassin's Creed Jade, which takes place in China, but on console and PC, nah, that shit will never be free-to-play. I don't know if you know, but Ubisoft is poor. And I mean like really poor, nigga. They had to get bought out. Them niggas is think of like the ancient European days, the fucking peasants that worked on the farm with the hoe and the muddy ass clothes dangling on. Them niggas is poor. Assassin's Creed China, yeah. I'm pretty sure I covered this. AC Jade. There's gameplay out there. Assassin, because they did a beta test. Yeah, there's gameplay out there. This is from 2023. I don't know what the fuck happened to this game. It doesn't look bad for a mobile game. I don't know if I would play this on my phone, but maybe I would play it on my tablet with an Xbox controller, or like you could play it through an emulator on your computer. As long as the story is interesting. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I forgot about all this. Yeah, this one's gonna take place in China. When is it coming out? I don't know. It looks like it's far along in development, but if you want to watch gameplay, it's out there. I'll drop the link in the chat. They're probably trying to figure out how to monetize it, especially because Tencent bought out Ubisoft, and then Tencent is a Chinese-owned company, and then this game takes place in China. They're probably like, you need to figure out how to fucking monetize this shit, bro. The Ubisoft say they're making Assassin's Creed software where you boot it up and you have a compatible Assassin. Yeah, they're coming out with their own Assassin's Creed launcher, kind of like the Call of Duty launcher, where basically you'll be able to stay within the launcher and play all those different games, which is interesting. I feel like it's a waste of resources, because there's never been a once in my life where I thought, man, I really wish I could play an Assassin's Creed game back to back. The games are so large and bloated. No matter how much I like an Assassin's Creed, like I feel like the last Assassin's Creed I thoroughly enjoyed was probably Odyssey. And I had like 300 hours on that game. And even with the 300 hours in there, I still needed a break afterwards. Like, I don't want to play it back to back. Like, oh, let me stay in the launcher. It's not that, the game's not that good. Didn't they have the Assassin's Creed Shadows? You talking about in the launcher? I don't know. And then if you're interested in Marathon, I never caught one of your live streams, just the YouTube content, but I want to say great takes and great content. Hey, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you, Cobra. Marathon systems requirements have been leaked if you're interested in the game. The recommended specs are a Core i5 or an AMD Ryzen 5, a 2060 or a 5700, 4 gigabytes of RAM, or VRAM, my bad. And then for regular RAM, 16 gigabytes. So translation, this game will be optimized. Shout out to Bungie. These are the recommended specs. The minimum specs, a low-end i5, this ain't even an RTX, A GTX 2050, that's a peasant GPU. 8 gigabytes of RAM. So basically a PS4 could run this shit. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Do not be surprised if this comes to PS4. Do not, because these are pretty low end specs. Do not be surprised. It wouldn't, like, not right away, but don't be surprised like a year from now, especially if this game is not successful. Especially if it's not successful, I can see them porting it to the PS4. That's PS3. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that 1050, that's crazy. But it's also a good sign. It means it's gonna be really optimized. They're not focused on high fidelity visuals. They're more focused on gameplay, it seems like. But the Switch 2, yeah, it should be able to run on the Switch 2. Speaking of leaks, how true do you think the Steam Machine prices are? I'm hoping it's lower. I'm leaning towards they're probably true. Just because the RAM shortages. Matter of fact, there's an article I saved. Let me see. Yep, I'll bring it up right here. I'll take it. It's from the next batch, but it's contextual to the conversation. I think the price of the Steam Machine is going to be at least $1,000 because the price of RAM is out of control until they get these data centers under control. GPUs, they're scaling back so they can put them in the data centers. So that's less for you and I, which creates artificial scarcity, which is going to drive up the price, supply to demand. And then you have them saying SSDs, or they're going to stop making SSDs. Samsung said that. Now you got this article. NAND, another SSD maker, they're going to cut back on SSD production. So now we have two major producers of SSDs cutting back. The price of everything is fucking going up, bro. The fucking price of everything is going up. So I think there's a possibility that it could be $1,000. Now I'm hoping it's not, but the world we're living in right now is a shit show, and it's thanks to the president that you voted for, because he ain't my president. He ain't my president, nigga. You know how I feel.
Lock 'em up.
Oh man.
Lock 'em up.
Fucking pedophile. Nigga Trump. If I ever stole, which, you know, I'm not saying I would, because, you know, the feds be watching, but in another universe, if I stole Trump's laptop, I would not be surprised if Roblox was installed.
Lock 'em up.
Oh man.
Lock 'em up.
Roblox and Minecraft. Shout out to Watts. Shout out to Watts with the raid. I appreciate you. Like, ain't AI a bigger problem than tariffs? Yeah, but they're equally bad, especially because I don't know if you guys saw this story, some more real world news in case you don't read. So right now, the Trump administration is threatening to invade. They want to purchase Greenland. I believe it's because it has a lot of rich minerals and gas and oils and stuff like that. They want to purchase it from Denmark, but Denmark and the people of Greenland said we're not for sale. We want to be independent, right? So now he's talking about invading with imperialism, Fire Nation shit. And he just announced yesterday that any nation that opposes the United States invading Greenland will be hit with a 10% tariff. When I saw that shit on the news, that's when it's stuff like that where I'm like, we're going to be okay. This nigga's so maniacal and fucking stupid. You can't do that, bro. What I want. You can't fucking do that. So, like, if he actually does do that, it's not just going to be tariffs on China. He's putting a 10% on everybody. Everything. I saw a video. I don't know if you guys know this. I didn't know this, but 75% of what's that shit? 75% of insulin is manufactured in Denmark. Denmark controls the insulin market. Meaning if Denmark stops trading with us because of the tariffs they just cut off, you might be in trouble if you have diabetes. And America, what do we know, is full of fucking fat asses. So it won't be just China. This nigga said, oh, you won't let me invade another country? Tariff the world. I said, all right, bro. Like, the impeachment's coming. This dude's a fucking moron, bro. Like, Idiocracy is a great documentary. And the crazy part is there's somebody in the chat right now listening to me. You don't know both sides. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. We're past redemption. This dude is a fucking full blown moron, and that's why his approval rating is at like 30%. The Mozambique thing. Oh yeah. They manufacture 75% of insulin, and I think it was like 90% of Ozempic in Denmark. I didn't know that. I don't know if you know, but in the United States, there's an Ozempic There's an Ozempic pandemic going on. If they cut us off of Ozempic, niggas is about to fucking lose it, bro. I didn't even know we got that shit from, because I think we forget as humans, the world is so civil. We don't realize how much carnage could be caused when systems stop breaking. And he's breaking systems of like, hey, we're cool with this person and we've been cool since like World War II. We trade, you trade. Everybody's good. Everything's good. This nigga's just being a fucking asshole, bro. Get him the fuck out of here. I'm sick of this shit. I'm ready to go back to old school. I'm going to go back to old school corruption. Niggas getting their dick sucked in the White House, a little insider trading. Like, can we go back to that? I thought that shit was bad, but Jesus Christ. I'm over it. But like, look it up. This nigga said, you won't let me invade Greenland, tear off the world. I said, all right. He's such an idiot. It's fucking funny, bro. I'm like, this dude is unserious. He has no fucking game plan. Which, by the way, before I move on to the next subject, it's now been 30 days since they were supposed to release the full Epstein files. There are 2 million more files that have not been released. They are illegally not releasing those files. The court said this nigga should have been impeached, but the average American is so fucking stupid. This man is doing so much illegal shit and people are defending it. It's crazy. I'm getting off my soapbox. I'm done being an old man. He only care about the Nobel Peace Prize. This man, you don't get a Nobel Peace Prize. You're an imperialist, bro. You're fucking invading countries. A lot of countries manufacture our medicine because we're too stupid and expensive to do it ourselves. Yep. They only release 1% of the files. We need them all, non-redacted. So that's your daily dose of real world news. Look it up. This motherfucker said, "Tear the world." I was like, this dude is 20 years from now in the textbooks. This nigga's gonna be on the Mount Rushmore. Like, think of like the Hokage Mountains. This man's gonna be on the Hokage Mountains of fucking morons when people wake up. In other news, former BioWare exec hits out at suggestions that it should never have made Anthem in the first place. He's right next to Bush. He makes Bush look like a fucking ballet Victorian. You seen the interviews of them saying how he shits himself since the 90s? Yeah, apparently he wears diapers and people don't like sitting next to him because he smells like shit. A former BioWare executive has criticized player suggestions that the studio should have never made Anthem in the first place. Last week, as Anthem servers were shut down 7 years after the game's release, Anthem's executive producer Mark Dara released a video post-mortem lasting nearly 4 hours. God damn, bro. Yapper alert. Following this, in a 40-minute interview with YouTuber Destin Ligari, Mark Dara discussed the game's development further and defended the decisions to make the game in the first place. As the interview concluded, Dara was asked if there was anything he wanted to clarify about Anthem and its history. He replied by questioning anyone who has said BioWare should have never made Anthem in the first place because it should have stuck to single-player RPGs. Dara pointed out that since its foundation in 1994, BioWare had tried numerous new ideas and that Anthem was simply another evolution and another of its numerous attempts to try something different. I'm of the camp that I don't think they should have made it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think they want to make it. I think he's just operating from his ego in this response. Because reports claim that it was EA that pushed him to make a live service game. I'm sure there are probably things where I feel like the record needs to be set straight, but I think it's easy to blame EA, and certainly they deserve a bunch of blame for Anthem, but it's not all their fault. But one thing that actually is worth mentioning, I think, is that there are some people at the time, these people loved coming out of the woodwork and saying, see, I told you so, and saying, well, BioWare should have never made Anthem because they're a single-player RPG studio. But my feeling is that BioWare has always been changing. I mean, by that argument, we should have never made Neverwinter Nights because we were a 2D RPG maker. We should have never made Mass Effect because we were only a tactical RPG maker, not an action RPG. I get what he's saying. He's basically saying he doesn't like the idea of people saying you should have stuck within your box and that's why you failed. And like, you know, in hindsight, I kind of agree with it. I wish they would have just stuck to RPGs. But that being said, the problem with Anthem is they were out of their element. It was something new. It was a live service game, and they were asked out, and I think they should have brought in the talent to help them. If they wanted to make something different, they should have brought in the talent familiar with it. They should have poached people from the Destiny team to come in and help them, to teach them how to make a proper live service game loop that keeps people addicted for 10 years. Because for those who don't know, I am technically a game developer. My name, as well as Ethos, because I'm not going to take this L alone, is in the credits of Anthem. They flew us out in 2018 to play the game. I went to Stockholm, Sweden for a week, me and Ethos, and we played the game. We played the game for like 2-3 days. And then after that, we played early builds. And then we sat and we debated for like 8 hours at a time in a boardroom about what we liked and disliked about the game and how to fix it. And not a single thing. This is the real issue. This is why I said I understand where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be put in a box. The real issue with Anthem is they just did not listen to the feedback. You said 8 hours? Yeah, I'm not even capping. We sat in boardrooms every day at the end of the play session for several hours at a time. And we had to share our notes and go over and discuss and debate what we liked and disliked. By the way, they flew out a bunch of Destiny creators, and they flew out me, Ethos. That's where I met Paris Lily, I think, for the first time, and a few other people. They didn't listen to a single fucking thing we said. And then we talked about it on the podcast. And then they had the nerve to put our name in the game. That shit pissed me off. I'm like, no, I don't want credit for this. I had nothing to do with this. You didn't listen to nothing I said, bro. So it felt like they just wanted us to come in and demo. Like, what was it fucking for, bro? They were on that toxic positivity bullshit. So I think where they fucked up is to meet them in the middle is like, okay, I respect the fact you wanted to come out of your box and try something new. But if you do, you should be a little bit more open to feedback because you weren't 100% sure, especially because when Anthem came out around that time, live service games were fairly new. At that time, the only thing that was really running was what? GTA 5, if you want to count that. Destiny. Apex had came out, I think, like in 2019. It was still fairly new concept that people were still trying to learn and get a hold of. Were the other creators added to the credits as well? Yeah, everybody was in it. Everybody. If you go on YouTube and look up Anthem credits, I'm somewhere in there. You'll find the Black Okage and Ethos in there. We're in there. Yeah, Fortnite, all that shit. So like I get where he's coming from. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think just stop talking about Anthem, dog. Just stop. It shoulda, coulda, woulda. It could have been great, but it is what it is. I played Anthem years later, and it had some really good parts. It had good things going for it. I thought the flying mechanics were good, and the prime and detonator series when you did it with friends, it was fun. It's just everything after that wasn't. It wasn't enough boss fights. So like the fights just kept repeating itself. There weren't enough different environments. There wasn't good post game support. That was a really big issue. The grind for like rare weapons was boring. They fucked up on the main gameplay loop. Mind's Eye was better. Nah, Siggy, you're wilding. Now, see, that's where I draw the line. Nah. Mind's Eye was not better than Anthem. Mind's Eye was not better than Anthem. At least Anthem was a functional game. The story was ass. Yeah, there was no end game. The story was ass, though. Crazy how BioWare fumbled the story, I guess. I think my theory of why, this is the same thing. My theory of why Anthem and BioWare fumbled the story is I think they were so focused on trying to figure out the main gameplay loop, they forgot that they were a studio known for telling stories. I think that's what happened. But there's no way for me to prove that shit. And then last but not least, in news nobody asked for, exclusive, Ubisoft is developing a turn-based tactic game set in the Rainbow Six universe. Ubisoft is developing, this nigga Siggy just saying shit. Ubisoft is developing a new turn-based tactics game set in the same universe as Rainbow Six Siege. It was said that the new Rainbow Six Siege game is likely 1 or 2 years out, but it's aiming to be released as a current generation console title for the Xbox Series, PS5, PC, and possibly the Switch too. Two sources have knowledge of the game said that the camera is a top-down view, somewhat similar to Diablo 4 or XCOM, and we'll see the player take control of Rainbow Six Siege operators. One source said, just watch some XCOM gameplay if you want to get an idea. I'd say it's an updated version of that with cinematic cutscenes and so on. Its gameplay loop was said to be similar to Rainbow Six Siege in a lot of ways, where the players would have to select different operators based on their skills to raid buildings, save hostages, and etc. The total time of the game was said to be aiming at approximately 25 to 30 hours, depending on the player skill, but that could change if gameplay content, cinematics, etc. are cut, it was said. And I'm tending to believe that this rumor is true because, friendly reminder, guys, Ubisoft also made that, what was that game? Ubisoft Mario XCOM. Ubisoft also made the Mario Rabbids game. Yeah, what was that shit? They made this game. Yeah, Mario Rabbids Battle Kingdom. This is an XCOM clone with Mario, which, by the way, it's actually really good. I would say this is one of the most slept on Ubisoft games. It's actually really good. Mario Rabbids Battle Kingdom. So I have no doubt in my mind that this will probably be decent at bare minimum. My issue is the leaker says, just imagine XCOM. what are you doing different from other tactical games? Yeah, and then on top of that, it's such a niche market. That's one of the reasons why people hated that Marvel Midnight Suns game, because it was a tactical game. And then also you got like got Fire Emblem coming out. Like, who cares about this shit when Fire Emblem's coming out? I think the only way this game gets by is the story's got to be fire, because it sounds like from a gameplay standpoint, they're not pushing any boundaries in terms of tactical. I have that Mario game and I haven't played it yet. You should play it. It actually is really good. I remember when I played that game early at E3 the year it was shown, the first one, and I remember leaving. They were like begging me to play it. I was like, yeah, what the fuck, Mario XCOM. And I remember leaving. I was like, oh, I'm actually impressed. Like, this was actually really fun. Marvel Midnight Suns is underrated, so I've heard the people who actually played it. I got it on the Epic Game Store. I just haven't got